Mic check 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2.
Are the audio levels coming through on there at least?
Yeah, yeah.
Does anybody else make you do a mic check? I've been meaning to ask you that.
I do one on my own. I just monitor on the YouTube channel. Well, good morning. We are at the Taste of Andes. It is time for Midweek Jacket Talk here on Regional Radio KJL. I'm brought to you in part today by Summit Natural Gas, by Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, by Martin's One Stop, and also by A Taste of Andes here on historic Route 66 in Lebanon. The delicious lunch special is the loaded brisket, baked potato with a salad, and fried pie here at A Taste of Andes. That's not all they have, though. Sandwiches, soups, and salad. A delicious breakfast. They've got the French toast and pancakes. So come on by and enjoy breakfast or lunch here. They're open until 2. at A Taste of Vandy's. Basketball today, Yellow Jackets and Lady Yellow Jackets. Coach Ryan Toombs is with us after a big win last night at Boswell Auditorium over the Eldon Mustangs by a score of 84-58. Coach, point total, 84. Can't argue about that, can you, offensively?
No, I mean, it took us a few minutes there early in the game to get settled in, but I thought once the kids got comfortable with what we were trying to do, they really executed well and hit some shots and finished around the rim, got to the free throw line, all the things that you want out of your offense. The ball movement looked good. I felt like we did a good job not forcing things that weren't there. You know, if they cut us off, we just made the easy play and lived to fight another pass or two and found good shots. I thought they did a really good job.
No deliberate pace to the game last night, was there? It was up and down, both teams looking to get after it and play the full court game.
Yeah, I mean, Eldon does a really good job trying to push the ball up the floor. They want to play a quick tempo style of basketball, and of course, we have no problem doing that if that's what they want to do. We do tell our kids, be patient, stay under control. And even in an up-tempo game like that, I thought our kids did a much better job last night than Friday night of doing that and taking what the defense gave us and just really staying patient and under control. So that was a big key for us.
How many passes would you like to see in various possessions before a good shot is located in your offense?
We don't really put a number on that. We just emphasize multiple ball reversals. Our goal is to get the ball wing to wing as quickly as we can, however we can. We want to drive it baseline, get the ball in the post, play off of those actions, and our kids do a pretty good job of just moving the ball side to side, forcing the defense to shift. We tell them that the more times the defense has to shift, the more opportunities the defense has to make a mistake, which gives you opportunities to attack them. And our kids really have a good understanding of how we want to attack our opponent. And I thought last night they did a pretty good job of that.
Where does your half-court offense originate from? Is it mostly under your design, or have you taken some hints and formations from other coaches?
So growing up in Bolivar, one of the coaches that I really admired was Jeff Gio. He was the head coach at SBU, and I grew up watching his teams play. And obviously, I was really good friends with his son Preston, and Preston played for his dad at SBU, and so just really picked their brain a little bit about offense. And I thought I really liked his system and how simple it was, while also teaching the game. And just I went down there summer before I got this job and watched them practice and sat and talked X's and O's with him, and so a lot of the credit goes to his experience coaching basketball for 30 years. I think in coaching, you have to be creative. You have to come up with your own stuff, and that helps. And then some of our sets, I played for Chuck Blair, Jackie Payne's assistant coach, and some of our sets are stolen from Chuck from when I played, or straight from Jackie. He's obviously still doing a great job with our girls. So, and then you just see what's out there. I'll be watching film sometimes, and a team will run something, and I'm like, hey, we're putting that in tomorrow. That was really good, And so, just recognizing things and recognizing who is good at what they do, and trying to not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but take the wheel and improve it as best you can with what you know how to do.
Do you feel your structure will fit most personnel groupings on most teams? Do you feel is that simplistic?
For the most part, I mean, if we were to ever not have a big man at all, just nobody that can play with their back to the basket, or we're kind of too small to do that, then the system could easily become 5 out. It's a motion offense. It's the concepts are kind of universal: ball movement, player movement, spacing. So you could run it in a lot of ways. But for the most part, yeah, I mean, basketball has moved to kind of a positionless game. And so other than our post position, if you're on the perimeter, you're all expected to do similar things out there within reason. I mean, kids know their strengths. We talk to them about, are you a driver? Are you a shooter? Is that a good shot? Is that the type of shot you need to take? Is this the right time to take that shot and all that? But, yeah, for the most part, our system, I think, really fits our kids, and it helps us because, as you know, when you go to Springfield, Missouri, you can't over dribble or they'll take it away from you. And we're definitely looking for our moments to attack instead of just constantly bouncing the ball.
Mm-hmm. Talked on the postgame show last night how the rebounding was really in your favor last night, both on the offensive glass and defensive rebounding, but especially on the offensive boards there in the second half. That really enabled you to get some space between yourselves and Eldon.
Yeah, I mean, we tell our kids all the time, basketball is a very simple math problem. When you break it down, it's who can get the most shots. And usually the team that shoots it the most wins the most. I mean, if you can hit even a decent percentage and outshoot your opponent, most times that's going to end up in your benefit. I mean, exceptions come to mind. The Stratford game, I think we shot 20 more times than they did, but they shot it at such a high clip and we struggled. And so there's anomalies there, but, offensive rebounds are a big part of that. Turnovers are a big part of that. And on offense, we emphasize getting offensive rebounds, taking care of the basketball. And then on defense, you emphasize forcing turnovers and limiting offensive rebounds. And I don't know if there's a stat in the sport of basketball that can more impact the game than offensive rebounding or defensive rebounding, how well you limit your opponent to second chances. And second chance points can really kill you on the defensive end, or it can really save you on the offensive end. I thought last night, in some ways, that really saved us.
Visiting Coach Ryan Toombs, midweek Jacket Talk. It's 24 after 11 o'clock, and we will take our first time out and be back with more after this on Regional Radio KJL. Our show brought to you in part this morning on Regional Radio KJL by Heritage Bank of the Ozarks, by Summit Natural Gas, Martin's One Stop, and by A Taste of Andes. Jackets win column last night over Eldon by a score of 84-58. Ryan, I had you for 8 turnovers last night, 10 in the Hillcrest game on Friday, so that's a good direction to head as far as limiting those turnovers to 10 or less. That's what you'd like to see in each and every ball game, I think.
Yeah, and we were right around 10 against Camdenton as well, and just doing a much better job as we get more comfortable and as the season progresses of just taking care of the ball. And I think our kids are really bought into making sure we get a good shot on every possession and understanding that in order to at least get a shot on every possession, you can't be throwing it to the other team or throwing it out of bounds. And I think our kids are really starting to gel and take really good care of the basketball on the offensive end. I know we had 3 kids in double figures and a few more had 7 or 8 last night. Everybody scored, and so it was really good to see us sharing the ball that way. And Caleb had 20, and probably half of those came in the last quarter as we were trying to spread the floor and pull them out of their defense. And
yeah, you had a half in the first and half in the fourth, 10 points each quarter.
Sounds about right. Yep, and once we spread them out and they they were kind of trying to climb their way back in. Caleb's got a quick first step, and when he can size you up a little bit and get downhill at you, he's tough to stop, and I thought he did a good job finishing the ball game for us. You mentioned offensive rebounding earlier. I'll tell you who was probably the two biggest were Austin Hendricks and Dylan Russell were huge on that front. There were times where we wouldn't have scored had it not been for Austin or Dylan creating a second chance, and those are big moments. And then Wyatt Carr just goes out and has a quiet 11 like it's no big deal, doing what he does. And I thought Corey Huff really came into his own, shot the ball really well last night, ended up with 8 points and hit a couple threes. And he's starting to see the ball go through the net, which is huge for us because he could be a big impact down the stretch this year. And then Kelby's been playing with a lot of confidence. I really like how he's played the last few games. And then Cooper Berry and Evan Webb were rock solid as well last night. So just a total team effort on both ends of the floor. And our defense wasn't what we wanted to see in the first half, but we challenged them at halftime, and I thought the kids really responded well with great effort in the second half.
19 points from your bench people last night. You'll take that every night, won't you?
Yeah, our rotation, our bench guys do a great job coming in. Even Mason Huber, even though he got limited to just a minute or so there at the end, came in and put one through. And so, yeah, just our bench is we're pretty deep, Kevin. I mean, this is one of the deeper teams that I've had where you can put somebody in and not expect to lose much or if anything at all. So really proud of those guys. That requires them to stay locked in for the entire basketball game. They never know when their number is going to be called, but for the most part, when it is, they're ready to go.
Your team has proven so far a really good 2-point field goal percentage. You had 28 baskets last night of 2-point variety and 7 threes. So you combine that, you're shooting over 50% from 2 and under 30% from 3, but you made 7 last night from long distance. So you combine that, that's why you scored 84 points.
Well, it's the second chances, I'd imagine, is why we're shooting at such a high percentage, because you miss a 3, let's say, and you get the offensive rebound. Usually that offensive rebound is going to be in an area where you can either score it right away or get fouled or both. And that's another reason offensive rebounding will kill you on the defensive end, is because it usually results in a bucket or another 3-point attempt or a foul. And I think it's something like 75% of offensive rebounds result in one of those 3 things, and it's a reason we're put up 84 points, and a lot of that credit goes to our kids, but all of it goes to our kids for really putting an emphasis on, okay, if we missed a shot, we're going to go try to get it back, and they did a really good job of that last night.
Well, going back to Friday, not a pleasant experience at Springfield Hillcrest, but as you said, just one poor quarter really doomed you in that ball game, and kind of a taste of what life on the OC on the road is really like. A good vocal crowd and a motivated opponent, and Hillcrest really played well the other night.
Yeah, they had a lot of energy coming out on their home floor. Had just come off a loss to their rival Parkview at Parkview, and Hillcrest is a team that took Republic down to the wire. Republic, of course, won the blue and gold, and then gave Parkview all they could handle on Parkview's home floor. They're a really good team. I really felt like we could compete with them, and they just kind of jumped on us, didn't even give us time to breathe, and they shot 4 for 5 from 3. The one 3-point shot that they did miss, they got it back and kicked it right back out for another 3-point shot. I think they ended up going 10 for 18 from 3, which is utterly insane, 59%. That's like Steph Curry on one of his best nights, and credit to them for shooting the ball well. Also, the game was really physical ball game, where early in the game it was they were letting them play, and we couldn't get any breathing room as far as taking care of the basketball. So ended up okay in the turnover column, but early it really threw us off our game. And our first 3 possessions, we missed 3 layups. So while they're throwing it in from 20 feet, we can't throw it in from 2 feet, and that's just a tough string of events to deal with when you're a teenage kid in a road environment that's pretty hostile. And I thought our kids responded after the end of after a couple timeouts, they fought their way as best they could. But yeah, the final margin ended up being the same margin in the first quarter. So you're right. Other than the one quarter, I thought our kids played hard and did what they could to get back into the game.
Well, 20-point game, Ryan, and you missed 16 free throws.
Yeah.
So that prevented you from making it tighter.
Yeah, we're going to shoot a lot of free throws today. That's an area that we can definitely improve. And I think we're doing a good job, I think, of getting to the line. There's been games where we're shooting 30-plus free throws. And that means our kids are attacking the rim hard and getting themselves where they need to be, which is the free throw line. And we're just, for whatever reason, not able to sink them. So we're going to work on that today and try to keep ourselves fresh as we have another big one on Friday night.
Yep, Osage comes in. Coach Engelbrecht has another good basketball team. His teams always score a lot of buckets, so offense is going to have to be going. You're going to have to play some defense too.
No doubt. I mean, that's every night, but definitely when you see a Jay Engelbrecht team, they're going to try to put a lot on the board. They do it kind of a defense creates their offense kind of style. They want to press you and speed you up and turn you over a bunch. And, if our kids play like they've been playing, you don't think, or you hope at least, they won't be able to do that to us. And as long as we can take good care of the basketball, stay patient, make the right basketball play, trust each other out there, just not force things that are outside of the flow of the offense, then I really think our kids can handle that. And, of course, defensively, keeping people in front of us and holding them to one shot and done. No second chances, or at least as few second chances as we can. If we can do those two things combined on each end of the floor, I think we should have a good ball game.
Thanks, sir. We'll see you Friday night.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Coach Ryan Toombs joining us on Midweek Jacket Talk. We'll visit with Coach Payne as we continue from A Taste of Andes after this on Regional Radio KJL. And we're back on Midweek Jacket Talk from A Taste of Andes here on a Wednesday morning. Coach Jackie Payne joining us. Lady Yellow Jackets getting ready to take on Springfield Parkview tomorrow night after a big win at Camdenton last week by a score of 72-52. Reagan McCown, another big night, Coach. 32 points for you, 12 and 19 shooting the basketball, but that's kind of routine for her anymore, isn't it?
Well, it is, Kevin. She's just having a tremendous year, and she's a tremendous kid to coach and a tremendous teammate. So, yeah, she just works so hard and stays after practice every day and does some extra shooting and stuff. So, yeah, she had a monster